Looking at the relaxed and gentle animals of T&D Refuge, I wouldn't have guessed they came from such disturbing backgrounds. Some were abandoned and others were abused. They can't be safely released into the wild, and because they've been mistreated, zoos don't want them. So when the government confiscates these exotic animals, there are two options. Kill the animal, or take it to someone like Terry at T&D Cats the World.
Whether it's a duck or if it's a turkey or a cat, if you're called, and that's where I'm at. If I'm called and they say, we need you to help us, I'll take them. I'm not gonna say, oh no, you gotta find somebody else. So I think that's why everything happened here, because I don't know how to say no. I did not plan on all of this. And even the inspectors that come here, they'll say, hey, Terry, we got a new word for you. And they'll get a piece of paper out and they'll turn it around. It says no. They said, you have to learn to say no. And I said, well, if I say no, what do you do? So they crinkle the paper up and throw it away.
Even though Terry has saved their lives and nursed them back to health, it can still take a long time for these animals to realize that they're in a safe place.
This is a forever home. Once it comes, it stays. Doesn't matter if it's nice, if it's mean, if it hates me. We've had cats here, a leopard. It took 7 years before it would come out while I was here. Because the state it came from, the guy who owned it, his theory was if he beat the will to live out of it, they would do anything for him. We have to watch, when a new animal comes, what upsets them? Is it a broom? Is it a coat? I go down to the monkeys, I don't wear my hat. They don't like hats. One of the cats we had up here, we had a guy come through with a beard, a full beard. And the cat went freaky. Did not like the guy.
It was pretty easy to see what Terry was talking about. This mountain lion gave me a firm and terrifying warning to stay away. And then these two female lions, they stalked my friend Joe. And if given the chance, I'm pretty sure they would have torn him limb from limb. Of course, this is natural since they're wild animals. There's this one monkey. It glanced at me with its big brown sad eyes. And it looked at me and I could see its utter fear of humans.
She sits on her perch and just glares out there. Doesn't pick her head up much. It's always down, sad looking. 9 years old, 9 years in a bird cage, in an attic, no windows, no light, no perches, never saw the sun, never touched the grass, never saw a bird. It took almost a year to get that monkey to come out and just look at the sun, look at the clouds, touch the grass.
Walking around, I had this kind of silly thought. I wished I could interview the animals. I wanted to hear more about what they went through and what they thought of Terry and the second chance he'd given them. And then I met Carl.
Now my past, I was into the drugs and everything, so I did do jail time. I was told I had to start getting community service, if not they were gonna send me to jail.
He was assigned to come here when the judge said, Carl, here's where you're gonna work, you're gonna help this guy out, he's a retired state trooper. Carl said, I'm not doing it. I'll go back to jail before I work there.
I just, for the longest time, I couldn't swallow that whole deal, working for a retired state police.
So he basically hated me from day one.
Carl also had a disturbing hatred of animals.
But if I seen an animal outside, a deer, a cat, a raccoon, it didn't matter what it was. If it was trying to run across that road, I would literally try to swerve to hit it.
Cared about nothing and nobody. And then he said one day when he was here, I gave him a baby pigeon. I gave him food. I told him what to do, how to feed it, keep it alive, don't let it die.
We raised that pigeon up. You just get a bond with that pigeon. A lot of people say, well, it's just a pigeon, it's a bird, but you actually get a bond. Once it was old enough, started flying around, I'd sit down in the backyard, it would fly down to me. Seeing them grow up from an egg all the way up to something flying, knowing you had a part in it.
The animals sometimes bring the good out in people. The squirrel monkeys are new. I don't know if you saw the squirrel monkeys or not, Carl. Did you?
Yeah. You know, but he's willing to put that effort out there to give somebody a second chance, just like he gives these animals. He gives these animals their second chance. They come here and they live their life out here.
Carl had 40 hours of community service to fulfill. In his first week, he did 120 hours. That was 4 years ago. Since then, Carl has stayed clean and volunteered every single week. Terry defies the stereotypes of an animal activist. He's not a vegan or a PETA member. He's a retired state trooper and a Vietnam vet. And I wanted to know what motivates him to be so good. I mean, there's the obvious answer, which is we all want to do good. But very few people dedicate their lives and their incomes to doing this much good.
Being a state trooper, naturally, you can only come home and talk to the family about so much. So you keep a lot of stuff inside, you're bottled up. So basically, you're a little bit of a time bomb, too. There isn't a fatal that I investigated that I don't remember today. Every one I remember, because it takes a piece out of you. But when you go and there's a little child, an infant, a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, they never even started to live life. And it's gone. So you don't forget any of those. What is it, post-stress, traumatic, whatever? I could get it. But this is my relief. So maybe patching up the animals, maybe patching up some of the probation kids. It's a way of giving back for some of the stuff that you could never change. This you can change. We're never guaranteed tomorrow. So when you wake up, it's a new day, new start, make the best of the day. Yesterday could have been, or today, a total nightmare, but tomorrow start over.